The maps in Call of Duty games can make or break that particular COD game. You can have all the gun balance, customization, flawless connections in the world, but if the maps are dog shit, then you can forget it. Thankfully, the COD developers know this, or used to know this, and have blessed us with some absolute masterpieces of maps over the years, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the best maps in Call of Duty games. Trying to pick a favourite Call of Duty 4 map is like trying to pick a favourite kid of yours. You really can't do it. Pretty much all of these maps are absolute classic works of art, but I'll do my best to narrow them down. When I think of Call of Duty 4, I think of Crossfire. I also get aroused. A great map for any game mode, TDM, Search and Destroy, Domination, you name it. But it was also a punishing map too if your team gets spawn trapped, but fucking class if you're the team doing the trapping. Overgrown, another grandfather of COD maps, a sniper's dream. Don't forget your ghillie suit when you play on Overgrown, or your claymores when you're setting up camp in or on top of this building. Ambush is my personal favourite COD 4 map and possibly of all time. An archetypical Call of Duty map, symmetrical, 3 lanes. I do miss when the developers kept it simple. I mean, what more do you need from Ambush? It's even got wee underground tunnels so any would-be spawn trappers have to watch their backs in between ruining people's day. But seriously, it was an honour to be trapped on this map. But I also love the battle for the mid-map, the battle for these two Humvees. I was raised through puberty by these two vehicles right here. My virtual mum and dad protecting me and giving me all the opportunities I needed in life. Yeah, Shipment needs no introduction, a sacred place for 1v1 enthusiasts, where it all began but also home to a shit ton of carnage when used for any regular game mode. Broadcast and Chinatown. Now I'm throwing a curveball here with these two briefly. 2 of 4 COD 4 DLC maps and I thought they were excellent and would be instantly the best maps if they were included in any COD game of the past few years. Still, not good enough that I'd pay for them again 10 years after I did the first time, Activision, but some people have and it shows you how good they are. World at War started where COD 4 left off in terms of great maps, and my favourite from this game is Upheaval. They just don't make them like they used to. I guess I might have a fetish for simple 3-lane maps, but I mean come on, every building on this map, every wall is placed with perfection. Plus it's another map which hits out of the park on every game mode you throw at it. War was especially fun on Upheaval back in the day, not to mention the obscene amount of fun I had playing S&D on here as well. Just an amazing map. Ask anyone their favourite World at War maps and Castle will claim a podium spot every time. There's just something about this map which clicks and is fun to play. I can't ever remember being frustrated at the game while playing on Castle. I reckon Dome's inclusion in this might split opinions, but if you're craving some close quarters, trigger holding, grenade spamming, strategy, what the fuck is that, combat, look no further than Dome on World at War. And I couldn't cover World at War maps and not have a tank map in there, and when it comes to a bit of tank on tank action, I was always more than happy to jump into the driver's seat on Roundhouse. For a tank map it's actually not too big, it doesn't cross multiple time zones like Silo or Downfall does, but it's got enough space for you to manoeuvre your tank into prime positions to lay down a blitzkrieg on the enemy. But if you're not into that, the map also caters to medium to long range engagements too, this walkway being a superb place for you to earn your stripes as a sniper. Getting into the peak of COD map design in Modern Warfare 2, starting with this gem of a map, Highrise. I think Highrise might be the least skipped map of all time. Seriously, I can't ever remember it being voted off or myself ever thinking, nah, I don't want to play Highrise. It would be sacrilege to skip it. What a fucking map, honestly. I'm getting emotional with the nostalgia of this map coming back to me. It is your conventional 3-lane map with some added spice. You've got this path underground which takes you to the complete opposite end of the map. You've got flanks on both sides. Dip down here and suddenly you're behind the enemy controlling mid-map. Jump up here on the crane and you've got all sorts of options. Stand up here in the heavens or perch yourself on this ledge to do some damage. But we can't forget the daddy of all hidden spots. The gauntlet you had to run to get on top of this building and the satisfaction and reward when you reach the summit. Good times were had on Highrise. Terminal was another map which was scarcely ever skipped, whether it's on Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3. Fuck, it even has its own Infinite Warfare version, but we'll just pretend that doesn't exist for now. The top of this building was some prime real estate, but you could also get inside the cockpit of an aeroplane on this map. The only negative of Terminal for me was the metal detector going off as you tried to get through it with your gun, then the subsequent 3 hours you spend in customs explaining the situation. The king of 1v1 maps and a cherished arena amongst COD players, Rust. It's so good that someone even paid an artist to hand draw a silhouette of the structure on this map and put it on a t-shirt. I think you should get one and remind folk that you're a 1v1 veteran on this map. Link is in the description. There's so much going on in this map. Favela, the narrow streets, the building rooftops, this football you can shoot into a goal. This map has it all. For real though, Infinity Ward just knew how to make maps fun back then. I really miss playing Favela. And lastly, shout out to Afghan, because it's another one of those maps that instantly comes to your head when you think of Modern Warfare 2. A classic. Moving on to Black Ops and kicking off with a map so good they've remade it not once, but twice. It's even been made in fucking real life for paintball skirmishes. This map sure does get around. However, nothing beats the original Nuketown. The rest are good tribute acts, but when it comes down to it, Nuketown on Black Ops is an absolute icon. It's about as symmetrical and simple as it gets, and the type of map design we rarely see these days. Many players have broke their 1v1 kill game virginity here, and it's no surprise when you see how hectic it can get on Nuketown at times. The map also tells you how many players are currently playing in it. It's got its own fucking Easter egg and cutscene after every game. A zombies map too. I don't know of another map with more accolades to its name. Truly one of the greats. Firing Range was a joy to play on and has a nice wee example of the interactivity Treyarch let you have with some of the maps in this game. These moving targets you could shoot and spin around were interesting. But Radiation was a map with tactical ploys. Opening and closing this big door actually changes up the game more than you'd think, depending on the game mode. Radiation also had this conveyor belt which could lead to your death if you're not careful. Many a time my soldier ended up looking like the contents of a paper shredder by falling into this grinder. I had to include Hanoi in this video because any nighttime map, which people are content with, is automatically bumped up a bit in the standings, in my opinion. To be a solid night map is an achievement to be respected. Stadium is a DLC map which was a cracking addition to Black Ops and has actually been made twice. Yep, made twice, not just had a graphics upgrade, but remade in Black Ops 2 as Takeoff. Says it all really. The standard for good maps was a bit lower in Modern Warfare 3, it has to be said, but Hard Hat, Arcadian, Seatown and Resistance were always reliable for a decent match on Modern Warfare 3. I honestly can't think of much to say about them other than they got the job done. You can argue away in the comments about these maps, but I personally could never really enjoy the Modern Warfare 3 maps the same way I enjoyed the maps on previous CODs up to this point. Having said that, Black Ops 2 brought with it some great maps, including Standoff, which is honestly, it's the perfect map, the teacher's pet of maps you could say. I can't think of a single thing wrong with Standoff, other than seeing the kebabs on it makes me hungry sometimes, but honestly everyone loves Standoff, don't they? Hijacked holds its own in the small map, weight class, or should that be height class, or no, size class, whatever. It's a really fun map which never disappoints and is rarely ever skipped either. It also has a jacuzzi which your soldier can enjoy. Raid is my personal favourite of the Black Ops 2 maps. I always seem to have a good match on Raid. I guess that's why it's my favourite, that's usually how it works, but I won't be in the minority with that. Even when I got beat on Raid, I always had a good game. It was always fun to shoot some hoops on this map too, and Raid also has a jacuzzi, so maybe I just like maps featuring jacuzzis at this point. Express didn't quite feature a jacuzzi, no, but it did feature a bullet train which periodically comes racing through the map, cutting it in half for a few seconds. It could also cut your soldier's body in half if you stand in its way, but it was really cool to have a train come through a Call of Duty map, in my opinion. And last but not least, ghost maps. Oh wait, no, that is the least. None. I hope you've enjoyed this video looking at some of the best maps in Call of Duty games, and be sure to let me know if you agree or disagree with my map selections. Let me know what you think is the best COD map of all time and why. A like on the video is very much appreciated, and also let me know any future video suggestions you may have for me. Have a nice day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.